Okay, it looks like I was muted for the entire first half of this cast. I am so sorry. No. Oh, I'm terribly sorry about the lack of realizing that my mic was on mute. I'm actually kind of curious as to how that happened. So I hope you guys aren't too mad about that. No, mic. So, yeah, so it looks like things are looking pretty good for Demonizer here. As I mentioned before, a significant amount of damage got done by that early push by the Hellions and Marines, doing a significant amount of damage, traded very well, pretty much traded 2 to 1, two amounts of resources per one. We have nice little drops coming in here, doing a significant amount of damage left and right. Tenza should be able to, or I mean, Demonizer should be able to pick up this drop and continue on harassing to the main. He's going to go ahead and start the drop. I'm not quite sure why. Does need to get this drop out of here and save these units as quickly as possible. So, at this point, Demonizer has basically been getting up his third, getting up his production, and things are looking very, very good for him going here into the mid-game. Now, it does look like Tenza is thinking about pushing out. He still doesn't quite have too terribly many units. Both of them are pretty much even in upgrade, so I think overall it's going to be a halfway decent position for both players. Now, obviously, Demonizer is still a little bit ahead as far as unit count goes, and in general, in any Zerg versus Terran or Protoss matchup, you know, the Zerg player wants to be at least 20 supply ahead of his opponent, if not further, because, you know, by generally having one more base than your opponent, as well as, you know, generally being in a slightly more economically favored position, you can obviously get a lot more units a lot quicker. So, drop going to be annoying. Single Roach going down. Overall, I think things are looking pretty good. Some very, very nice harass being done by Demonizers. So, second drop is going to be coming in here to the main. Already being picked off by Tenza, so this should be cleaned up pretty easily. I don't think there's really much that Demonizer can do to deny that. We do have the Viking kind of going out, spotting for Overlords, trying to figure out any vision that he can minimize his extra gain. And it does look like this medevac is going to get away. So, very, very nice. Obviously, a fully energized medevac. Always a nice little score. Viking is going to come in here, pick out this last Overlord, and I don't think there are any Hydralisks quite out on the field. If we look at the structures tab, the Hydra Den actually hasn't been planted down yet, so it does look like Tenza is going to be going for a very, very heavy Roach force. Obviously, all of these units are starting to stream across the field. Marauders, very, very heavy. Tanks sieging up, and will this be enough for Tenza? Demonizer's got a very, very good position here. Tanks are doing a significant amount of damage, and these Roach numbers are dropping very, very quickly as we look at the units tab. This Roach army is going to get pushed back, and I'd say that was a very, very favorable trade for Demonizer. Obviously, we do have the reinforcement Roaches coming in here to hopefully help out this little hit squad now. He just needs to be very, very careful not to let these tanks get into a good enough position. If the tanks get into a good enough position, I think it's going to be very, very difficult for Tenza to engage this. And obviously, with the scan, he's going to be looking pretty good. Now, these Roaches are burrowed, so with no detection as far as unit detection, it's going to be very, very difficult to engage us. Now, he needs to be a little bit careful. It does look like some of those Roaches are going to get moved to the back to try and deal with these tanks very, very quickly, but we'll have to see how much damage can actually get done. The Roaches are moving in here. Demonizer needs to be very, very careful, and the Roaches are going to unburrow, and it does look like Demonizer is going to be pulled back just in time, but he's going to be able to get himself into a very, very good position. Tenza could be able to walk over this army as the Roaches encroach on the tanks, and the tanks are falling little by little, but Tenza is going to go ahead and call GG, putting the Eternal Dreamers back on the map. And it is now going to be 3-2 oGaming. So we'll have to see whether or not they are able to continue. Eternal Dreamers is able to continue with this nice little comeback. So once again, I will apologize for the mic issue that we had earlier.